Let's look at turning a fraction into a percentage. So the thing to understand with a percentage is really a value out of 100. So that's really the goal we're after each time we do these, where we're trying to turn that fraction either into something over 100 or we're trying to apply that thinking to it. Now, the one thing you can do with any fraction is once you get the fraction, and then all you need to do is multiply it by 100 over 1. Every time you do that, that'll convert it into percentage form for you. So in this case, we can cancel here. That 10 goes once and it goes into that 10 times. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 1 is 1. So that equals, therefore, 10%. So 1/10 equals 10%. Now that fact alone is worth keeping in mind, because that means if you've got a question like 3/10, then you'd be able to know that, well, that's going to be 3 times bigger, so that would therefore equal 30%. So sometimes just knowing a simple bit of information will help you out with what is really a very similar type of question. Okay, so let's have a look now at 5 over 8. Again, we just want to multiply this by 100 over 1. Now, the interesting thing here is 5 over 8. It's not easily adaptable to something over 100. So we're going to end up here with most likely either a fractional answer or a decimal answer. So here, a number that goes into both of them is going to be 4. 4 goes into 8 twice. And 4 goes into 125 times, okay? From there, we can do 5 times 25 is 125, and 2 times 1 is 2. So that's going to give us 62.5% as our answer, or 62.5 would also be. All right, here we have 1 over 7, so multiplied by 100. Now, there's nothing to cancel here, so we're going to end up with 100 over 7. So now we need to do a division question. How many 7s go into 100? Because you've got to remember this, 100 over 7 is the same as 100 divided by 7. It's the same thing. And so that we can rewrite that in this short division form in order to solve it. All right, so we can do this 7 into 100. And what we're looking for here is to be able to create a whole number what we're trying to create here is a mixed number. So we just want to get to the end of this 100 and then use the remainder to create a fraction. So 7 goes into 1 0 times. 7 goes into 10 once, okay, with 3 left over. 7 goes into 30 4 times, and with 2 left over. Now, often you would have been told to write remainder 2 like that. What we can do now is we want to take that 14, and with the 2, we want to create a fraction. So the 2 is the remainder from the sevenths, so it becomes 14 and 2 sevenths, and that becomes our percentage, 14 and 2 sevenths percentage. Obviously, you could also continue working that through with a decimal and end up with a long irrational number that you'd have to round off, most likely. So that's another way of answering that question.